Serious games focus on a learning goal. Use your hands, yeah. We're a small company and we like it that way, but we have fun every day. So for me, that's the most important thing.
We don't want AI to take away the creative process. So we are meticulous about how are we going to implement AI in Scenebrook without giving away the creative process. If the scene starts, I want that animation of that firefighter to run indefinitely. And if I created that and I click preview, it works instantly and it just works.
Once you start moving, you see that it's not real. And once the illusion breaks, your story breaks. And what you get in the end is a real person in the virtual world. Where you see all the communication that you do. And we asked them, who's doing this in the Netherlands? Because we want to be able to use that technology. And they said nobody. With 48 cameras that are all synced. And we take 48 pictures 60 times per second.
Hello guys, here in Rotterdam, prepare to enter to the place. Let's see what VR technologies are happening in Europe.
Use your hands, yeah.
Okay, that's it.
So here we are at VR Days with Bas. Hello Bas, can you tell us a bit more about what you do?
Yes, of course. So I'm Bas van Nuland. I am a serious game developer. I'm the owner of the barn. And we make serious games for all kinds of purposes. Like training, education, awareness. And we do it both digitally and physical games, so board games.
Okay, I think it's already responded on your answer, but can you explain us the main differences in serious games and non-serious games?
Yeah, of course. Serious games focus on a learning goal. And they use game technology as a means. So entertainment, fun works best. It works really well to get people engaged, immersed. But our focus is on a learning goal. So, for example, in a training game, you want people to actually know how to do certain steps. So that's the main thing for us. And we use game technology to achieve that.
Okay, so you told us that you are doing also digital games, like with VR and also non-VR, and board games.
Yep.
How came up to combine all these things in the company? Why not just focusing on one?
Yeah, everybody at my company likes to develop games. And we've been doing board games and digital games since the start, before we started the barn as a company. And we see an advantage in either type. So board games are great to bring people together at a table, to have them talk to each other, discuss things, have a physical game to play around with, get them out of the real world so they don't have to talk about real business, but talk about the business in the game, and then make the connection to the real world. Digital games could have the same effect, where you sit around a table, but then you're focused on your own screen, on your own, so that gets the focus out of the personal contact. But there's a lot more you can do with a digital game. Much more complex calculations, much more complex worlds, which can add also to the gaming environment experience. And VR games are sort of the ultimate in that sense. That the immersion in a VR game is great, and it really helps people get into a world. But it has a downside that it's for multiplayer, at least for now, not really well. And you need hardware to do it, so that also makes it hard for people to really use it in real life.
Do you also combine this concept, board games, digital games, VR in one, or?
Yeah, we've tried it. It's possible, and I think great concepts, especially if you use, for example, AR with a board game, or so you can have like calculations or animations done in your AR setting. But still, our clients, they like to keep it simple. So if you there's great things you can do, but it comes with a price. And making digital games is way more costly than, for example, a board game. So combinations are, for now, hard to sell.
Which are your most recent projects that you would like to tell us about?
Well, one of the projects we've been doing and which we're showing today is a VR game about what it's like to be in a financially difficult situation. So you're put into a family situation, you have your family with a son, a daughter, a partner. You don't have money to spare. You're not really poor, and it's just a bad decision that made you get you in this situation. But it's a challenge to make sure that you have money left at the end of the month, and then you have to make decisions concerning your family. For example, can your son have a birthday party? Which is really tough. As a father, I know you can't say no to your child wanting to have a birthday party, but it's something real for people. Or your daughter wanting to go on a school trip, or you're getting invited by your friends to go away for the weekend. Every decision you make, you have to keep in mind, do we have the money? And it's sort of also, it's not something you're proud of. So what do you say? What do you do? Do you always make an excuse? What do you do? And so we made this a game for people to experience in short, in really low levels, what it's like. So hopefully they have a little bit more empathy towards people who are in this situation. So for example, if you work at the tax office and you get in contact with these people, that you can get a bit more connected and be a bit more humane about their situation. So that's the goal of this game. Yeah.
Nice. What's the role of AI in video game development and in video game experience?
I don't know yet. I think it's too soon for me to tell. We use AI as a sort of a rubber ducking. So you have ideas, you put it in, it gives you some ideas back. So like in Gemini, you can just talk with it, and it has a big collection of data which it can use. So for us, it comes up with some things that we otherwise had to come up with ourselves. For example, if for a game we need like 100 names, a couple of years back we had to think about 100 names ourselves.
Yeah.
Now we just ask AI and we get a list. So that's really low level. But also, if we do things in English, then we can check the text. Our English isn't the best, so we can check the text a little bit and then have it rechecked by mostly a native English speaker. But it makes it easier to get. And in programming, we use a little bit more like code completion, small suggestions, because for now we want to control the code ourselves. But we're having discussions on how to use it, how to integrate it. And for example, vibe coding, I think it's a great tool for prototyping. So if you want to check something, if you have an idea and you want to say, oh, maybe this works, you can quickly make a prototype, show it to someone, see how they respond, and then integrate it in your real system and learn from the code. But production-ready code is definitely something different than vibe code. So
okay.
That's.
Which challenges does the barn have right now?
Well, the challenge I think in serious games in general is the maturity of our market. So there are a lot of serious games, a lot of custom serious games, which are made for one client and then not used anymore, or they're just used in one company. and we're not part of the normal flow of companies to use games for all kinds of purposes. So we need more general purpose games, I think, to have a broader outreach and a broader range of companies knowing about serious games and have good experience with serious games. So the challenge is more in sales, in having a broad client base. From a development perspective, people see AAA games, which take up to 10 years to make. Look at GTA 6. I don't know how long they've been working on it, but it's crazy. But people see those games and commercials about it, and then they expect us to make something similar. It's not possible. With a budget like 20,000 euros, you can't come even close. So there's the expectation and the budgets don't really match at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so more sales.
Yeah.
And any lesson for the viewers that you would like to tell us about your journey?
I think as an entrepreneur and having my own company, what we've always done is we've done things which we enjoy. So the barn is now 15 years old, and we're a small company and we like it that way, but we have fun every day. So for me, that's the most important thing. So we take the assignments which we like. We strive to have the best possible experience for players, and that makes our clients happy. And I think, if you start a company, you need to find your way. That's what we've done as well. Experiment a little bit with what you like, and then do and go for what you're most
Your motive says, what
yeah,
your
your
heart says.
motive. Yeah.
Have fun and do it.
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. And last question, any connection that you would like to get from our network or from the viewers and the audience?
Yeah, we're always looking for new clients. So,
Okay. Which kind of clients then? Municipalities, organization? Which kind of organization?
it doesn't really matter for us. So, as a serious game developer, one of the most fun things is getting into the material of our clients. So we know about games. Our clients know about their world. So, for example, about this VR game, we had to figure out what it's like to be in this situation. What are realistic households for this situation? What are realistic incomes? So we had to and for example, for another client, we have to learn about policy. So how is policy made? What do you do with it? And how does it influence the world? So, but we have to become sort of the mini experts on this.
You also have companies, not only
Also companies
that want to.
So the subject matter doesn't matter to us. It's whether we are able to find a game solution, whether it's digital, whether it's physical. Yeah, to help those clients with their problems. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that was it. Thank you so much for the interview.
Yeah. Well, happy to help. Thank you.
We really need to invest in our new technology and also please stop. Anyway, then.
Bastiaan from
Hi.
Scenebrook. Hello. Well, can you tell us a bit more about Scenebrook?
Yeah, Scenebrook, we found out that there's a lot of potential in virtual reality and augmented reality, but we also found out that in order to create your first prototype, you need around 3 to 5 months of development, custom development with specialized people. And we wanted to bridge that gap to make that available to, for example, education, who is not able to pay for that amount of money, right? So we wanted to make that available to them in the way that we also have made available website development to just a marketeer, for example. A marketeer is not a technical person, but that person can still create a website by just going to WordPress or Squarespace or something like that, and within 10 minutes you have your first website. We wanted to bring that to virtual reality and augmented reality. So 6 years ago we made a prototype. We started out with 360 degrees photos and videos, and just so you can make your own adventure, for example. And now 6 years later it got a little bit out of hand and created the complete interactive environment with which you can create your own experiences, rich interactive experiences. It's completely web-based. We built the technologies ourselves. So it works on the Pico headsets, it works on Quest headsets, it works on the Android devices, iPhone devices, everything.
How do you see AI in your product?
Well, we don't want to integrate AI directly in our product. So what we think we should do is create integration points in Scenebrook that makes it possible to then integrate with AI. So you, the user, can choose which AI you want to use, for example. So if you want to use Anthropic, or if you want to use Mistral, if you are more Europe-minded, for example, you can choose yourself which AI model you want to use. And we want people to be able to plug that in and use AI to create experiences. Yeah.
And you are proudly based in Europe, and your technology is also made by yourself, right? We are not relying on Unity, for example. We're not relying on any other library. We created the 3D engine behind it ourselves. We view ourselves as a tech company. And the reason that we did it is because we have an intrinsic belief that technology should always focus on the humanity of things. So AI, for example, we don't want AI to take away the creative process. So we are meticulous about how are we going to implement AI in Scenebrook without giving away the creative process, because that is a human thing, I think. So we are thinking about that a lot. Yeah. And what challenges has Scenebrook have right now?
Well, of course, we are a startup, so you always have the challenge of are we working in a settled market, for example, or is this a developing market? And I think this is still a developing market. So it's the market last year was very different from what it is now. Starting with, for example, those XR glasses that are coming out, and I think that in the coming years those are becoming more mainstream. So, 6 years ago we started out with virtual reality, and right now we see that the smart glass is going to change a lot of that about how we view Scenebrook. Yeah.
Any lesson to the viewers regarding your journey?
Well, what we did with Scenebrook is that everything that we did was a wish from a customer. So we never thought, well, we simply want this feature to exist without really knowing that someone needs it. So everything that we built was a wish from a customer. And I think that is very important, because otherwise you are maybe building something that people don't want.
Exactly. And any connection that you would like to have from Connectora, from the viewers, from LinkedIn?
Yeah, of course. I'd like to know from people, do they think about these technologies, about XR, and what smart glasses are going to mean for them, for example, in the future.
And a specific connection of a person or a group of people that you would like to have?
Well, educators.
Educators,
so, yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Primarily those who are working in innovation. So if you are working in an innovation lab or an experience lab or something like that, and you're thinking about these technologies, smart glasses, AI, and how you combine them,
please reach out and I want to talk to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the interview. And as
you're
a last thing, I think we can show maybe a bit about the product. So with the camera.
Of course.
So let's get here. So.
Yeah, this is Scenebrook. This is a complete integrated environment, so you don't have to install an app or anything. It's completely web-based. You just go to scenebrook.com and you create your own account and you can create your experiences right away. And this is one of the demos that we did. We added some items, we added some animations, and we did this in around 10 minutes, right? So it just shows that the speed with which you can create things. But if you want to...
Maybe you can show how you build something with this? I think.
Yeah, sure. What I can do, for example, is I can go to my library of 3D models. And I have some animated models here. For example, a firefighter. I place it here. And a firefighter has an animation, right? It's an animation of him being idle. Then I go to objects, which is the scene itself, and I can create an interaction that if the scene starts, I want that animation of that firefighter to run indefinitely. And if I created that and I click preview, it works instantly and it just works. And you can publish it and send it to other people and they can play with it right away.
Nice. Hello, Natasja.
Hi.
Can you explain us about what do you do? What is 4DR Studios?
Okay, yeah, well, 4DR Studios captures real people like you and me and transports them to the virtual world with all looks like the wrinkles I lived 50 years for to capture them. And what you get in the end is a real person in the virtual world. Where you see all the communication that you do, so all the non-verbal communication as well as the way I look and the way I move, and that's really important.
How is it done? Which with machinery or with?
Yeah, so it's a capture stage. It's basically a really big green bucket with 48 cameras that are all synced, and we take 48 pictures 60 times per second, and we render that into a 3D model. And you can do that using either traditional volumetric capture workflow, or you can do that using Gaussian splat pipeline.
What is volumetric capture for the viewers that don't know?
Yeah. It's a new content type. It's a combination of a 3D model and video. So it's video quality, but it's actually 3D. So once you have it, you can put it into a virtual environment and you can have a camera go around it, or you can relight it, or users can watch it from all sides. So once you see a volumetric person in VR, for example, your mind tells you this is real. And you see that this is something that we found in our research. The negative effects that you have in VR, like nausea, cyber sickness kind of thing, it is reduced when people meet an actual person, because once we see, apparently it's something that we are biologically programmed, once we see an actual person, we buy the environment. We believe that it's real. And that's a really interesting find that we're doing more research to find out what is actually happening. Like, is it really the volumetric, or was it something that we did by coincidence, totally not related? But we have a pretty good understanding that it will be caused by the volumetric video.
And how was this kind of capture done in the past, this 3D video rendering, right?
Yeah.
How was it?
Well, in the past, you couldn't have it, right? You could have a normal green screen, but then it's 2D. So once you start moving, you see that it's not real. And once the illusion breaks, your story breaks. And so you had to have a lot of tricks to prevent people from finding out that the person in the story was only 2D. So once you don't have to take that into account anymore, you have a lot more possibilities to tell your story.
Which, you told me you are a few studios in the world doing this, right?
Yeah.
You are one of them. Can you tell us how many are you?
Well, there's only a few that do it on the level that we do. And they're basically a couple in America and there's one in the Netherlands. And we're the best, of course.
I'm sure. And which kind of clients do you have?
It's quite diverse. We do, for example, living history, because if you have to animate as an alternative the historical clothing, that is very expensive, while we just film it and then it's perfect. We do entertainment, so like music, athletes, and gaming. So we did the 7 guests in the cutscenes, but in the 7 guests, the ghosts are actual people, and everybody believes that the ghosts are real. And if you go for music or athletes, it's really, really cool to be able to shoot some penalties on Unai Simon, for example, or play a jam together with Steve Vai. And it's these people. It's very hard to animate that, because if you have, for example, Messi, everybody recognizes Messi. So if you put in an animation, it's not Messi. If you put in an AI generation, it's not a real person, right? So what makes us human is that we communicate with a lot more than only our voice. There's something going on all the time. And you don't have that when it's an AI. So we capture authentic people to do that. So that was the second one. We have fashion. Obviously, when you capture clothing, that it moves exactly how it moves in the real world. You don't have to think about translating the movement of fabrics into a digitized version. No, you just film it, and that's actually what it does. There's no lie in between. And the fourth application area is trainings, especially trainings where there's communication skills involved. So recognizing how somebody responds to you, being able to scan a crowd, safety trainings, like 60%, well, depending on who you talk to, 60% of dangerous or accidents happen because of human behavior. So capturing that behavior is what we do. And then you can bring it into a virtual world, but it's all about the response of people. Like this, it's the same for training on a holographic patient. You have a mannequin, a phantom patient, and they can produce all the things that go wrong with you, right? High blood pressure, low blood pressure, what have you, blood spurting out. But we project an actual patient over it. So you can see the breathing changing, the discoloration happening, or the way people respond to pain. And that's something that you cannot build into a mannequin. Plus, a mannequin looks the way they do. If you put on a digital overlay of a patient, you would have black people, brown people, white people, yellow people, purple people, fat people, very skinny people, old people, very young people, all different types with one physical mannequin. So there's a huge cost savings there as well. So those are basically, it's all over the place. Yeah, it's all over the place.
what's the origin of 4DR Studios? How did you come up to become one of the few studios that does volumetric capture?
Yeah, well, it actually started out 15 years ago when I started a company, Dutch Rose Media. And I saw, I was blogging under the name Dutch Rose, like ever since the 90s. And I wrote a blog about augmented reality. And in that blog, I saw a person scanning the wall in the subway. And by scanning that wall, he was actually ordering the products that were on the poster on the wall. And I saw a new technology partner in England. So I thought, oh, that's an interesting combination. This augmented reality thing, that's really going to do something. So I started this company. And during the years, we actually learned that we were telling stories in 3D. And when you tell stories in 3D, you also have to have people in 3D. And then somebody in my team came up with a demo of what turned out to be volumetric video. So we called a company that provided that technology for the views. And we asked them, who's doing this in the Netherlands? Because we want to be able to use that technology. And they said, nobody. So I thought, well, let's take a leap of faith. And I worked for about 2 years to get together all the funding. And then we started our own volumetric capture studio. So we use it in our own projects, but also people can use it for their own project. We don't have to do everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you see the future of XR, augmented and virtual reality for the...
I think that the benefits are so large that we will solve everything that is keep holding us back right now. So availability of headsets, quality of headsets, like the hardware, that will be solved. And I think it's more important to think about how can those type of solutions help us. Once we can prove the value of what we create, there will be incentive to solve everything else. So I see a lot of benefits happening, especially in not having to travel, so environmental impact, but also in change of perspectives. You can have any perspectives. You can use like really hazardous environments. So you can, in education, you can really do a lot. And on the VR side, on the augmented side, well, basically what you do even already today or for the last 15 years with your mobile phone, you look at the world and you make it a little bit more beautiful. And that's what the world needs.
Okay. And does 4DR Studios have any challenges? And which challenges are those?
Yeah, the challenges are still the investments. When we started, we managed to get together the investment to buy all the hardware equipment. At some point in time, you need to upgrade or replace your system. So we're looking for a next round of investments to be able to, keep doing all the work.
Okay. And any lesson for the viewers that you would like to tell about your journey?
Make sure that you have fun today, because it might still be a long time before this becomes mainstream. And if you don't have fun today, then you will never have the stamina to keep up doing it.
Okay. And last question, and as for a connection, any kind of people would you would like to meet or a specific one?
Yeah, what we do a lot is we connect with innovators in different areas, different industries, to together develop what is the value for your industry of this technology. Because we cannot, like, we are generic. How we create virtual people, like authentic virtual people. We cannot understand each and every industry. So we need connections to the innovators in all the industries to find out, okay, where do you need authentic people in a virtual world?
Amazing. Well, we will try to provide it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.